Hi guys, so today I'm going to be telling you my top 5 favorite books of 2014, and I really didn't read that many books in 2014, so that's why I can't do a top 10. I could only do a top 5, but I still think that they're good books, you know? The first book that I really liked and enjoyed reading is The Illustrated Man by Ray Bradbury, and this is a collection of short stories. And the premise of the story basically is that there's this guy that has these illustrations on his body, these tattoos essentially, and at night they become real and they become alive and they tell these different stories. And so there's another guy who basically looks at the illustrated man while he's sleeping and looks at all these tattoos, and he becomes just like engulfed in this world. And so that's what they're 18 short stories, and the 18 short stories are talking about the different images of the tattoos. And so it's really cool because it goes through space, it goes through time. There's a lot of stories taking place on Mars. And if you're a fan of Star Trek and the Twilight Zone, I think you would really like this book because that's what it kind of reminded me of, the different stories. If you're like into kind of like philosophy, because the stories, they talk a lot about human nature, the good and the bad of humans, and like the different extremities to both, or extremities, I don't think that's a word, but the extreme sides to both of those. So it was really good and really interesting. The second book I have is Where Things Come Back, and this book follows a boy whose brother essentially goes missing, and they're like looking for him. They don't know what happened to him, and it's like really weird that the brother of all people would go missing, and they were like, what happened to him? It's a mystery. And then also their town is a very small town, but this guy comes in and he's like, there's this woodpecker that was extinct that is now not extinct. I feel like it's hard to explain what this book is about, even though when I read it, it wasn't that complicated. It was just like really good, and now I feel like I can't explain it. But anyway, I'll just leave the Goodreads description below. The third book that I enjoyed in 2014, I don't actually own a copy of it, which I'm sad about, but whatever. It's To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. And this book is really good because it's just lighthearted and fun, and it was a really quick read that made me laugh. It's a story about this girl who writes these goodbye letters to all these guys that she likes, and somehow, in some mysterious way, the letters kind of get out there and they get out to the guys, and then it goes from there, and it's just hilarious, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm like, Jenny Han is actually a really good writer, so I'm excited to check out more of her books because of that one, because of how light and fun it was. The next book I have is this one, King of Thorns by Mark Lawrence, and this book is a part of a trilogy. I can't say that word, but it's a part of a 3-book series. And this is number 2, so I'm trying not to say anything that would really spoil anything for the series, but it might. So if you want to check out the Broken Empire series and you think what I'm going to say is going to spoil it, then come back for the next book. So you can leave the video now and come back for the next book. Oh yes, it's a medieval fantasy book, and basically the main character, Jorg, is like, he's not going to bend his knees to anyone. He's not going to give his kingdom up to anyone. He went through a lot to become the king, and he has not forgotten what he has gone through to become the king. And a lot of things that we didn't learn about Jorg in Prince of Thorns, the first book, we learn more about him like as he had gotten older, I know a lot of the crazy stuff that he went through and the crazy stuff that he did, and he kind of doesn't remember a lot about his past, so he's starting to remember it, and he's kind of being tormented by his past and the different things that he did. And then we learn about these necromancers and dark forces that are aiding in his torment, essentially. So it's actually really good. When I was first reading, I was like, I don't know, this book is okay. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, it's really good. And so yeah, King of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. And the final book of 2014 that I really, really liked and really enjoyed is this one here, and it's Dragon Keeper by Robin Hobb. So basically what happens in this book is there are dragons that are trying to go back to their ancestral homeland, and which they have never been to, but they have these ancestral memories where they remember the homeland, and they're trying to get back there, and they have their dragon keepers, who are a group of people that are leading them to their homeland. And that's just essentially what it's about, but it's just really good. It's really well written. Robin Hobb is just an amazing author, and I just love the way that she describes the Rain Wilds. I feel like the Rain Wilds is one of the best places in the fictional world, and I would totally love to go there and to live there. And it's just like this city that was built in, you know, like among these trees, and people like live up in the trees, and like the higher you go up, there's like, it's just crazy. It's very imaginative and just really fascinating, the world that she describes here. Of course I would drop. And so yeah, Dragon Keeper by Robin Hobb. So yeah, I would totally recommend any of these books to anyone. And if you guys have any recommendations for me, let me know. What were your favorite books of 2014? I'll put them on my TBR. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.